Hey everyone, so before we got into like the horror movie review portion of my video, I just kind of wanted to introduce everyone that doesn't know him to a very special person in my life that has made an appearance in a lot of my videos, and I feel it's important to let everyone know who he is. So, Stalker, come on! Stalker, come sit right here. Stalker! No, Stalker, come sit right here. Stalker, I need you to sit here for my video. Stalker, I want, no, Stalker. Stalker, I'm trying to introduce you. Because you're in all my videos, I need to introduce you. Stalker, right here. He is my 3-year-old husky. His full name is Night Stalker, but we just call him Stalker. Night Stalker is in reference to Richard Ramirez, the serial killer from the 80s. So there's that. He is kind of sweet. When this video will be released, he's having a surgery that's removing his eye. This one, if you couldn't tell, it looks kind of weird. So, yeah. He doesn't like scary movies like I do. He finds that he usually turns his back or leaves the room. But yeah, he's my little bro. My little man. So today I'm going to talk about a movie that actually came out this year. So earlier in like 2020, I think it came out in January, that the world really just barely took a taste of and spit out immediately. It has a 3.8 out of 10 on like just IMDb reviews. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 12%. And yeah, however, it is an adaptation of one of my personal favorite novellas to the point that I own 2 copies of it. And it's called The Turn of the Screw. It's written by Henry James. It came out in like the... No, it's a good question. Anyways, so yeah, it came out like in like either the early 1900s or really late 1800s. I can't really remember, but 10 out of 10, love it, and that's why I wanted to watch this film. And the film in which we are talking about is The Turning. So I guess I'm gonna hit you with a brief premise. It takes place in 1994. The opening scene is of like a woman running away from this house, like towards this gate, and she is like in a panic and she's stopped by a man, and that's like the end that we seen. So then like a little while later, we are meeting this character named Kate. She lives in, I think, Seattle. Wasn't really positive about that, but anyways, so she is taking a job as a governess and a live-in tutor for this young girl on this really nice estate somewhere. But before she leaves, she goes to see her mother, who's in a mental institution because she suffers from like delusions and that sort of thing. Yeah, I kind of get the impression that our mom is a little, unfortunate, for lack of a better term, a little crazy. But she like loves her mom, and like they have no way, like she really feels like yeah. Anyway, she loves her mom. So then she goes to the home. There's kind of like the maid cook lady, Mrs. Gross. She's kind of creepy right off the bat kind of thing. But she is going to be the live-in tutor for Flora, who is like an 8-year-old girl. In the book, she's a lot younger, but in the movie, she was like 8 or something. Anyways, Flora has like this whole thing where she like asks Kate like not to leave, like to promise not to leave her and that sort of thing. Kind of sweet, kind of sad, because then she explains that Miss Giselle, who was like her previous governess, like left abruptly kind of thing. So interesting, right? So she also has an older brother who is at boarding school, but on one of the nights, and like one of the first nights when Kate is having like some creepy experience in the house, Miles appears. Miles was actually sent home from boarding school for some violent reasons. So Miles being there then starts to put a strain on Flora and Kate's relationship. a lot of things start to happen in which like that relationship starts to get pulled apart. Kate starts to feel like a lot of creepy things. She feels as though like happened on the property and are continuing to happen on the property, and she feels as though the kids are at risk, but it's like freaking her out a lot. And at some point, Flora and Kate's relationship seems as though it's completely ruined, and that kind of brings us towards the end of the film. So let's get into my opinions of the film. I think it was a really great adaptation. For the most part, we'll get to why I don't think it was entirely a great adaptation. The original book is set in England, and it's like told from like through like several different narrators are like relaying this story. So it's kind of interesting in that way. And it's like, you know, way like earlier in like in time, so not way earlier. It's like I said, it's either late 1800s or early 1900s in which it's set. Like regardless of that, there's a lot of modernized films that I actually think like turn out pretty well, and this is one of them for the most part. Also, and it's something that the filmmakers changed that I wasn't really vibing with. So the age changes of the kids. So Miles is originally like 10 years old, so the boy, and he's played by Finn Wolfhard, who like everyone like knows from Stranger Things and the It films, that sort of thing. So he is like 16 in real life, and I'll admit he's like a cutie. Since I'm legally an adult, I'm not gonna say more than he's a cute kid. He's gonna grow up to be a very lovely young looking man. However, the film really sexualizes his character and his presence and his like role in the film, and I find it strange and unnecessary to a point in which it made me kind of uncomfortable, being both knowing Finn's real age as well as like the character's age in like the book made that like very different in a way that I wasn't really enjoying. Regardless of that, the casting is pretty well done, so I think even like if they didn't sexualize Finn, I wouldn't have really minded the age change, and I think Finn Wolfhard would have been like a really great cast, and he was a good casting. But everyone else is like, you know, is a good character, and they have like, they're good actors. So I think the casting was like really well done. So another thing about it is it has so much potential. I was expecting so much from this film, mainly because there's so much that you can do, or not that you can do, but there's so much that appears that you like that's possible within this book. So it's like there could have gone in so many directions, and it went in like a good one for the most part. There were a lot of conversations that would have been able to have been had if the like film really completed the directions that it was going. Like for example, childhood trauma is something that's brought up a lot in this film, but it fails to like scratch the surface of that subject and that topic, in which like people are just kind of like, oh, she saw her parents die, what about it? When it's like, it's so much more to that character, like to the young girl's character, than what was really portrayed in the film. There's also like a really great eye for detail that I really thought, I thought the setting was really neat, the way in which things were portrayed, like the decoration, like just the little things. There was a lot of consistency throughout the film that I enjoyed, that I thought was like really well done from the filmmakers, was like that like aspect of it. There is one thing I'm definitely gonna kind of applaud the film for. I saw a review where someone described the film as being like incomprehensible, and it definitely is. It definitely is a lot to chew. If you read the novella and also like understand that concept, it's so mysterious as to what is going on in Bly Manor and the manor. It's very confusing, but like not in a way that you feel like unsatisfied or whatever, but you're trying to keep up. It's a fast like moving like novella, and it's something that you're really there's a lot that you have to pay attention to, but like in a good way, not in some annoying, this writer can't, like the writer's writing and like run on sentences, but oh my gosh, there's a lot more to this than just a haunted, like a little ghost story. The whole point of the book was to be like, is the house haunted, or is she crazy? Like, is she just genuinely nuts? Like, is there something mentally wrong with her, in which like is she delusional like her mother? And that point is made within the film as well. Just like that like barrier of, is the house haunted? Are there really ghosts here? Or is she just like making these things like up in her mind? the thing that really like 100% pulled me into this film, that made me really want to watch it, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is impeccable. There's definitely some like older songs that are put on there. There are some like new songs written just for the movie. I like 10 out of 10 recommend, like, even if you don't watch the movie, listen to the soundtrack. It is so good. It's so good. I listen to parts of it like almost every day. Like Courtney Love is on the soundtrack, so like, can you go wrong with that? No. Biggest, I'm gonna say, if I'm gonna be honest, this is really my only problem with the film. Like, the only thing that really just gets under my skin and really bothers me about the film, the ending. The ending blows. I think the ending is completely horrible and unnecessary. It makes me really upset. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the filmmakers would do something so terrible to to a film that they really could have done so much with. I mean, the ending in the book is so completely clear and so like, well, like just like in capturing of what really like of what happens, and it's one of those, like, this movie literally just left like the ending left such a bad taste in my mouth. All in all, the ending. Like, so I definitely give the film a star for this point, like this next point, and it's that I really like the main character's haircut. She looks really good, and her outfits are kind of cute too. So all in all, don't watch the film, read the book. Those filmmakers do not deserve any money for this monstrosity that they created. A couple days after like watching this film, I genuinely had a dream about like a proper ending, like a really fulfilling ending. Not whatever the hell they did. I'm gonna be honest, it's a good film if only it had an ending. So many people I know like watched it and were like, Megali, it's terrible, it's a bad film, but I still wanted to see it because I love the book and it just made sense for me to see it. The book, the soundtrack, it just sounded like it was gonna be a good mix, and I didn't know what these people were talking about. And then the last 30 seconds of the film happened and I knew exactly what they were talking about. Honest to God, it was Captain America going back for Peggy all over again for me. Like, just, it was that equivalent. Honestly, might have been a little worse than that. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't watch The Turning. Keep watching my videos, and yeah. Always say goodbye. Thank you.